how do these groups manage to get money from the, because they get government money, I think. How do they do that since they're working outside the realm of typical government agencies?
He asks, how do they get the money from public coffers to run these sort of projects? It's actually a very good example of it is one of our witnesses who worked for SAIC, Science Applications International Corporation, in La Jolla, California, is the headquarters. And this is one of the crown jewels of the contracting entities that deal with this issue. And SAIC deals with many issues, but they sort of have companies within companies within companies. That's the way it's structured. And this particular witness, who's one of the Disclosure Project witnesses, was a woman who had been recruited to work for the company. And she was in a program that basically was a room and a bunch of file cabinets. And what she did, they took in millions of dollars based on a grant and or a proposal for funding research. It went into their office, went out the back door of the funds to a black project. And what she and the other people in the office did was gin up reports that would go back to the government and to the auditors that were completely bogus. And when she asked, where is this, what's the real research going on with this money, she was shown a file just full of these empty reports. So obviously that's fraud, but that is how they work. So for example, the B-2 stealth bomber might cost a few $100 million actually to build. They tell the Congress they cost $2 billion apiece. Well, the other missing $1.3 billion goes into the EMGs, the electromagnetogravitics or other unacknowledged special access projects. So this is sort of just the way it is done. And because of the nature of top secret compartmented, top secret TSI, TSSCI, top secret special compartmented intelligence, when you get to the unacknowledged level, nobody unless you're in that compartment, you're not going to report anything out to any external person. I don't care who it is. Certainly not the Congressional Budget Office or the auditors at KPMG or whoever it is. They just don't report it out. It'll be reported out on these phony things. And this is why when Rumsfeld said there's $2.3 trillion unaccounted for, I mean, again, this was not a flaming liberal. It's not Abby Hoffman saying this. This is the Secretary of Defense for George W. Bush and Dick Cheney saying this. So if you don't believe me, maybe you'll believe him, and that it's just unaccounted for. But that's how it's done. This one little example, so a lot of it is kind of overbilling and overcharging. You hear about these massive costs, 500% cost overruns, 1,000%. Well, it's not cost overruns per se. Part of it is that it's just going into a black project and being diverted, but not just Department of Defense and CIA. I have people who worked with the first Bush presidency, Bush Sr., who said that they were pulling money out of HUD, Housing and Urban Development, and other agencies. That would be things that were inflated prices that would then be siphoned off into black projects. And that is done routinely. And so, now, there's another way of doing it. I don't know if I should go into this or not. This is this is the dark end of it. Okay, so one of the meetings I had it was right after we did the meetings in 1997 for members of Congress and for Admiral Wilson at the Pentagon, the J2, head of intelligence joint staff. I had a meeting with a former member of Congress and a senior executive with SAIC at Crystal City here near National Airport at this former congressman's condo. And this congressman had been for many years sort of a consigliere to George Bush Sr. And he said, do you understand how dangerous this group is? I said, yes. He says, but do you understand where a lot of their funding comes from? I said, I have a very good idea. Where are you going with this? And the SAIC executive had recently retired and moved out of the country to France. And both these people asked me not to disclose their names, but this has put me under sodium pentothal. I'm telling you the truth here. They said, well, we use these anti-grav devices, and they launch wee hours of the night from various places, and they move billions, hundreds of billions of dollars worth of clandestine drugs and armaments around the world. And he said there is one group that is involved, it's like a small army, he said, of people of 8,000 men that have been involved in just moving contraband around the world because it's all cash and it's untraceable. And we have killed 2,000 of these men for minor infractions of security. Okay, this is not a conspiracy theory. These were two principals with firsthand knowledge of it, warning me of what this group is really into. So one of the reasons, therefore, fast forward to another problem. If the drug war has been created so that by making it illegal, it not only keeps it criminalized, but it creates a domain where so these super black illegal operations can kind of pluck the low-hanging fruit and have a very large, I'm talking hundreds of billions of dollars of funding by being kind of integrated with these criminal enterprises.